I think we need to start talking about all the people that have not given their life over to God, haven't accepted Jesus Christ. I really try and be encouraging and uplifting, and not that this message isn't, but if you've been thinking about joining a church, reading the Bible, accepting Jesus, I'm telling you, the time is now. The time is now. John the Baptist prepared the way for Jesus in the wilderness and got a following of people prepared for the coming of Jesus. So Jesus could walk the earth. And when he returns, he's not walking the earth. He's returning to judge. We've had over 2,000 years. You've had your whole life. And, it's time. Like, this is your sign. It's time. Now's the time. And if, I understand a lot of people feel like they're going to lose their lifestyles, friends, etc. And trust me, making these videos is not getting me any friends. I can assure you that. If anything, it's going to lose more than it's going to gain me, and I'm fine with that. Accepting Christ and walking with God has changed everything in my life for the positive, and it doesn't make everything easy. What it does is it makes everything bearable. It gives you a hope, and it is so hard to articulate in the words, but the Bible tells us, like, Jesus is coming back. Like, keep your lamps lit, be ready. It's like being at work and you don't know when your boss is going to come back. You don't take a nap. And that's the same thing. That's equivalent to now. Like, you don't want to be caught unprepared. And I see a lot of people that say and post stuff about, and it's good to walk people through, like, the words of acceptance of Jesus, but it's more than a prayer. You can't just say that you accept Jesus. That's it. Go back, do whatever you want, and not be open for God to use you in other people's lives as blessings, as, testimony to how God has changed your life. Words don't get you into heaven. You have to have a relationship with Christ. He said there's going to be a lot of people that show up on judgment and get turned away and say, but I did this for you and I did this for you. And he says, depart from me, I never knew you. That's that relationship. Yeah, you have to accept Christ, but you have to walk with him too. You have to have a relationship. And I'm telling you, today's the day. Don't put it off. Don't put it off. It might not just be you that depends on it. It might be your children, your family. If you look at biblical prophecy, all the things that have been foretold to happen have happened, except for a few things. In the 40s, a couple of things that had to happen before Jesus' second coming is Israel had to be restored as a nation. That happened in the 40s, shortly after World War II and the Holocaust. After that, the Euphrates River had to dry up. It is in the process of drying up currently. Google it, look at it. I'm not making this up. That is the absolute truth. And the Euphrates River has ran for as long as history accounts for. It has never dried up. It has never not flowed. So this isn't all coincidence. And these are all events that lead up to the second coming of Christ. It could be 10 days. It could be 10 years. It could be 50 years. Nobody knows. But it could be 10 days. And let me tell you from personal experience, like, finding God, reconciling, especially if you weren't raised in a family that was, fervent believers in Christ, or there's some disconnect in that for you, that takes some time to reconcile that. It took me years. I mean, from the moment that, I found God, there's been a whole educational process. I'm telling you, today's the day. Give yourself as much time as possible to get to know God, to walk your life as a follower of Christ. What other faith in the world promotes love, where that is the chief cornerstone that everything is built around? None of them, except for our faith. If that's not enough, I don't know how else to tell you about it. But I know that God wanted me to tell everyone that I can about it today, because it's important, and we're closer than we have ever been in history to Jesus' return. It's time to get right. It's time to give your life over. He walked his whole life for us. He lived his whole life for us, and then he gave it up and died for us. All he's asking you to do is commit to him and give your life for him. I hope you make that decision today. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day.